What's happening, Bulls? Let's do a little bit of an update. We're back. Save you the grimace of going through some shit posts, getting led down the garden path the wrong direction. We'll cover a couple of things here. We'll cover in Bitcoin. First, the Bitcoin chart, we'll have a little look at it. I'll give you my opinion and a couple of things that we've done already so you can see how, oh yeah, shit, he said that. That's right. And then we'll cover a couple of bits of news as well, some things that I've wanted to look at myself. All right, so that's what we're doing. First, we'll jump straight into it. We'll save some time. This is a Bitcoin chart right now. One candle equals 30 minutes. All right, there's a bit of scribble on here already. What is this scribble that you see? Let's zoom out a little bit. 1 hour chart. One candle equals 1 hour. There was a range. We drew a range. So now I'm going to drag this range along like this. All right, now we're bringing the range out. The most important thing in technical analysis is horizontal lines, and trust me on that one. Now you'll see here there's a couple of bits of diagonal line, and we're going to extend that because yet again pretty accurate. We're going to zoom out a little bit more to our chart. Keep going. Here we go. This looks nice. All right, so first thing I want to do is just talk about what was posted March the 5th. How long ago was that? 20, that's 22, so that's 15, 16, 17 days ago. 17 days ago, posted this. So it's just an easy 650. Oh no, that was more. That was 1200 US, I think, realized, and then unrealized 1200 US, saying tradable post. What tradable post are we talking about? This one up here the day before, expecting something like this, and then most likely lower. So what do we see here? This was back here. We said it's going to continue up. This was a low, a double bottom, and then it's going to start trending up. Trend phase 1. Move into a trend phase 2, and then peak at a trend phase 3 where I was expecting something like this 76 line to be breached. Now this was, again 17, 18 days ago. Now where are we? Okay, so timing is something that you're just never really going to get right no matter how good you are in technical analysis. But when we posted that, I guess it was here. Started moving up, basically following the phases perfectly, but not reaching that point that I was expecting, nor did it ever, but it come back down into the trend phase 1, continued on, and then had that double top. Literally a liquidity hunt, just hitting max stop losses before the shorts overwhelmingly took control, and now there has been a change in direction of the trend. Now, this thing is going to pretty much try and pick up some speed and see if it can make that the top for this range. So what I'm going to have to do in real time, because I haven't touched this because I've been away, is I'm going to have to adjust this. Okay, so I'm adjusting this to bring this line up into many highs. So we're looking at pivot points, areas of support and resistance. This takes a little bit of effort. I'm going to delete this. Oops, I'm going to delete this horizontal line here that we had as a target. I'm going to move this around. So you've got to move it around, find where you're touching the most. Look, these yellow and orange and red lines are going to be resistances, and then the greens are going to be supports. See, support. See how it rests, especially the candle closes, rest on all of our lines. There is a lot to sort of look through when you look at charts for long enough. You just basically look through everything. You sort of look at things in sections, basically layers. That's the right word for it. You look at things in layers. So I'm looking at things in layers. I'm looking at all the Miles just touching the screen then with my hand. I'm looking at these diagonal lines as one layer. I'm looking at this G box, this horizontal line, as a second layer. So I'm expecting absolutely this price now, as this trend has started changing, to continue lower, something like this. Roughly, diagonal lines are rough. They're very rough and they constantly change. Whereas these horizontal, like I could change these diagonal lines fucking daily. Whereas these horizontal lines, these G-box horizontal lines, they need absolute proof to be able to be changed, absolute proof of these highs and these areas for them to sit on, these stages. Now I'm going to be expecting these horizontal lines to continue to work as areas of support and potentially in future resistance, but right now we're looking at support. Okay, so where is this thing going to stop? It's going to do something like, might come back up here, hit it, take out some shorts, bang, hit that. Is it going to stop there? Is it going to stop there? Is it going to continue lower? Is it going to make a new range down in the 50s? That is absolutely possible and potentially probable, considering the current state of the market. So that's where I'm seeing Bitcoin. This is rough, but something like this, potentially not that grim. I do have a small short on right now, a couple of X's. I think it's only 2x leverage or something like that. So bit on that as a short. We've got a blue bar signal, but like I said, I've just been sort of keeping to myself a little bit, resetting, restructuring, and getting ready. So this is the Bitcoin chart right now. The overall trend is absolutely down. We're not out of the woods yet. One thing that I do want to just go over really quickly before we continue, I'm going to try and keep these videos nice and short, and I've got to keep looking at the camera, okay, instead of looking at the charts and the screens and seeing what I've got on next. I'm looking at you. What I'm saying is picking bottoms gets easier the more extreme the bottom gets, and vice versa, picking tops. Okay, so can this chart, I'm just going to zoom out now, I'll show you, I'm going to zoom out to a weekly chart. Can we bottom pick here? Yes, I could say, and I have said before, like this might be a 30% chance this is the bottom. What do I need to see for a bottom? I need to see many things for a bottom. I need to see double bottoms, macro double bottoms. I need to see big major trend line breaks from above. I need to see consolidation. I need to see low volatility coming into an uptrend. I need to see all sorts of shit. Need to see moving averages retested, claimed. I need to see ranges reclaimed. I need to see all sorts of shit, and confirmation continues. You could just take a punt. I could just go and say, oh, yeah, it's the bottom, and then fucking delete it. Like that's what other people do on crypto, Twitter, and shit like that. We're not going to do that. So the more extreme it gets, if I seen something like bang, 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 I'm like, oh shit, that's a bottom, or like you see things that are just like, like I said, the more crazy and extreme the bottom is, the more obvious it is. But until then, this is just like, this is earning its way lower. It's not fucking just overshooting just this. It's not nuking. It's not an overextension. It's grinding. It's earning its value. Yeah, and that's continuously lower. It's literally just, this is just a picture perfect downtrend. To be fair, this is how downtrends go. They go down, mark down, range, bear flag, mark down, range, bear flag, mark down, range, bear flag. Like this is just like a fucking picture perfect downtrend, and you'd be a fool. You'd be an absolute fool to think that you'd just be guessing, and you're just estimating, like, and I've done that before. It's just like every range, any range, could be the bottom. Any range can be the bottom. So you need to just realize that the further it goes down, the higher the chance that it's going to be a bottom. But every time it goes down, it still has a chance to be a bottom. So like if it even here, like in the 80s and shit, it could have been the bottom. Anything can fucking happen. So did you buy some there? Yes, I bought some there because it could have been the bottom. Buy a bit there. What are the chances of it being the bottom? Probably pretty low, but existent. And when you're in the moment, probably feels like more. And then moves down. Okay, the chances of this being a bottom increase. Maybe that was 25%. Maybe this is 35%. And then if we see some shit like this, bang, bang, back up, reclaim. Maybe it goes up to 45% chance it's the bottom. It's all just probabilities. Like nobody knows, man. You don't know. It's just like, okay, what are the odds? What are the chances? And how am I going to position myself accordingly? Anyway, rant over. Could be bottom. But nothing obvious yet, just a picture perfect downtrend that is most likely expected to continue until it doesn't. Okay, and what does it doesn't mean? It doesn't means, like I said, literally, like this is, again, diagonal trend lines, but look at that. It's just fucking, look at that shit. Okay, so, proof that it's not proof that the downtrend's finished. It happens as an afterthought. You know, bang, 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 reclaims this range. You know, it's all about reclaiming. Okay, so down, you know, takes all the longs out, bang, reclaims. Okay, pretty good chance of being a bottom. Reclaims, even better chance of being a bottom. Did it fail? Come back down to this range? Okay, maybe not. Okay, did it continue on? Is it breaking? Yes. Okay, that was a bottom. It's a hindsight thing. So there's a masterclass in simple TA for you, because obviously simple, the more simple the better in many cases. Okay, we're just going to have a little look, 5 minutes going through a couple of things on Twitter, and then we're going to move on. But just the last thing I will say, I won't rant. American stock market, all right? Okay, so American stock market, say less. Ugly as hell. It's coming down. It's going to come down until it finds some sort of knot or resistance. Pretty ugly. We're going to zoom out to a daily, see if I can find an area. See this? You know, this is the breakout. See this here, right? Top, you know, top. This is the top of a range. Horizontal lines, bang, look at that. That's a range. There's a price range. Come back down to get liquidity. Come back up. This is a price range. Okay, a lot of price action happened in this rectangular line. It broke out. Where was the first stop along the way? Right there. That's right. Bang, right there. This is in many cases and most likely where the price is going to come to before it tries to go higher. The knot. The first range after a breakout of a previous range. All right. So that's the space between, and this is most likely going to be the bottom of this large move in most cases, very, very often, no matter how long it takes to get there. You know, that sort of shit. So frame that, but grim continuing down, crypto coming with it, etc. All right, let's get into a few things real quick, and then I'll cherry pick a couple of things, because again, I'm trying to keep these 15 minutes. 15 minutes to get up to speed, and then I'll fuck off, and then all that sort of shit. All right, so here we go. Here's the first thing. Bang. Bitcoin dropped 50% from high to low. Did I sell the top? No. Did I hedge? No. But do I have tactical proof of capital that's ready to deploy into cyclical entries? Also no. Don't feel bad. You're not alone. You're just gonna, you know, this is just all just random shit, but we're just covering some shit. Hey, save you from scrolling, all right? Just watch this video 15 minutes while you're brushing your teeth or putting some clothes on or in the car, and then fucking you've done your due diligence for the day. Electricity output is the single best proxy for industrial capacity, so it doesn't hurt. Okay, it doesn't hurt to accept our new Chinese overlords, morally and financially. Okay, if there's some way that you can position yourself to profit on the industrial expansion and overtaking of China, do it. But keep in mind, it is a communist party and the government makes the money. 38% of altcoins are now trading near their all-time lows, worse than the post-FTX period. So we're going to brush on this again in the next video, where I can talk about how I'll have a look at some altcoins, all right? But here, listen to Gary V.
I'm buying Bitcoin left and right the last 48 hours because I'm cost averaging out.
Yeah.
It was $1.25. It's $6. I'm comfortable to say out loud, I'm buying Bitcoin left and right the last 48 hours because I'm cost averaging out.
Yeah.
It was $1.25. It's 68,000. It can go down to 30,000. If I said here right now, y'all, you have to buy Bitcoin, and you guys aired this tomorrow, I'm sure you have a process, but if you did, and it goes from 68 to 42, people are gonna be mad at me, but I'm saying 68 buy now for 13 years from now.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I'm comfortable saying.
You don't have to worry about 13 years from now, even just 3 years from now will do. I mean, look, it's proven that dollar cost averaging works, but doesn't always outperform bulk buying at value areas. And as a matter of fact, if done correctly, bulk buying at value key areas, for example, under the 200-day or 200 week simple moving average, buying in those key areas instead of dollar costing the tops is actually far more profitable. All right, so now Bitcoin's, basically under or around 50% of all-time high. Where let's just have a little look. I'm just going to finish basically already. It's 15 minutes, but dollar cost averaging at the over 100k was wrong. All right, that was wrong. Okay, so if you did it all good, long term, you got ripped off, but it was wrong. But now, let's just quickly flick back to that same Bitcoin chart. I just fucked that up. I'm gonna have to edit that probably. What I was just saying then, I just turned the mic off basically. I'll just quickly edit that. It's been a while since I've edited anything, but I was just saying basically there's plenty of ways to do it. You can go off a moving average, just DCA when it's under the moving average, no matter what moving average you decide on. Some people don't start dollar cost averaging until it's under the 200 week simple moving average, or you could do a 200 EMA or a 100 EMA even. These are SMAs. So some people start dollar cost averaging after the 100 week simple moving average. I think that's a pretty good one. 100 week simple moving average. You can keep that in your tracks, or even the 50. You just sort of DCA under certain moving averages. Once it crosses under that, or a price point. You set a price point, or you change. Another good one. This is one that I'm more inclined to do, is you dollar cost average. Okay, let's just say you have 200 a week, $200 a week to invest. So when Bitcoin is above a moving average or bullish or uptrending, you just do $100 a week. All right, or at these areas of highs or stochastic highs or RSI highs. There's a million different ways to do it. Personally, I just like simply moving averages. You can just go off moving averages, and then when it's above these moving averages, you just say you do 100 a week in Bitcoin, 100 a week in stocks, and then when Bitcoin's below the 100 week moving average, say when Bitcoin's below that, something like this, when Bitcoin's under this, you just stop doing the stocks. You do 200 in Bitcoin, 200 in Bitcoin when it's underneath the 100 week moving average. Like, that's a good one, something like that. All right, this is just some ideas. Anyways, take it easy. See you on the next one. Bye bye.